Good day, everyone. So today we're going to be discussing the new Trump campaign ad released against the against Joe Biden, and this ad is it's a tough ad on Biden. So we're going to first watch the ad and discuss some of the political implications that it can have down the line.
Ready to go?
This is a crisis.
This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysterical xenophobia.
Biden's son inked a $1 billion deal with a subsidiary of the Bank of China.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They're not bad folks.
Since the outbreak, the Communist Party has been mobilizing overseas organizations to buy local supplies and send them to China.
It is in our self-interest that China continue to prosper. What a beautiful history we wrote together. Banning all travel will not stop it.
The president is right. The travel restriction on China, as every public health official we've talked to said, bought the country time.
That was a very smart move right there.
Hysterical xenophobia. Xenophobia. I complimented him on dealing with China. I'm not going nuts.
So that was a scathing political ad. It was incredibly tough on Joe Biden, and it's an interesting ad because it takes it's reminiscent of the Obama Romney ad that started the 2012 general election campaign. Let's take a look at that before coming back to this one.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with pride.
Seen both ads, they both used the records of their political opponents against them to paint them as corrupt, as anti-patriotic or not necessarily patriotic. And in 2012, it worked. The conversation was based on whether or not Romney was too, spoiled, or if he was some greedy capitalist. And we're seeing the Trump campaign use a similar strategy of defining Joe Biden before the general election really begins. Some of the biggest things that were targeted here, of course, corruption. This campaign ad just paints Joe Biden as corruption, opposing the coronavirus ban on China, the travel ban on China, because potentially it could be Hunter Biden's Chinese partners. It could be that Joe himself has a great relationship with China, and playing all these clips shows that Joe Biden, of course, has a strong relationship with China, which, as we know right now, the favorability of Trump's policies against the Chinese is increasing. We're seeing a general trend where the U.S. populace is getting more anti-Chinese. We're seeing bipartisan efforts in Congress to try and bring back our U.S. companies from China to the U.S. And Trump's anti-Chinese policies are gaining traction amongst the American public. So this is an ad that not only paints Joe Biden as corrupt, but ties him to a growing unfavorable political player in the U.S. And then let's go to Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is going to be a huge issue for Joe Biden during this campaign. Hunter Biden, of course, has had issues with child payments and other issues that Trump will be able to use against him and paint him as corrupt. Of course, we had the thing that happened with Burisma, where Hunter Biden was getting millions of dollars from the Ukrainian company, and he'd had no experience in the field. So Trump will be able to use that against him, and if Trump is able to frame the debate around Biden being corrupt, Biden being tied to China, Biden supporting these unpopular stances, then Trump might be able to eat into Biden's lead. Right now, we can see that Biden has a nearly 6 point lead in the Real Clear Politics average. Now, of course, this lead has been thinning as we've gotten closer to the election, down from about 7 points in March. Now we're about 6 points. Both of them are losing support, probably because as more people are becoming undecided as we're getting closer to the election. But if Trump is able to eat into Biden's numbers, he might be able to pull off an electoral college victory without necessarily winning the popular vote as he did last time. So this is an interesting campaign strategy from the Trump campaign, and it might end up working. Going on the offensive was something that we saw the Obama campaign do in 2012, and Obama wasn't necessarily a very popular president at the time. Around Trump's numbers, around 45, nearly 50%, which is where Trump is sitting at right now. So if Trump is able to keep his favorability and keep his favorability the same and eat into Biden's number in terms of the popular vote and get his numbers up in the swing states, which he's losing in some of them, but not by very large margins, then he might be able to pull off another victory and secure his second term. But if you like the video, please subscribe and like the video, and I hope you have a good day.